Benvinguts a Valencian Metal Around the World. Avui entreviste a Mathias Lillmåns, de FINNTROLL. Estigueu atents.
Yeah, of course.
Today, I have the great pleasure to interview Mathias Lillmåns, singer from FINNTROLL. Good morning, Mathias, and thank you so much to share some of your time with me.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's of course really fine.
First of all, I would like to know when you decided to be a musician.
It's actually really early on. I think I never really wanted to be anything else. You know, when when I was a kid, you know, my friends, they wanted to be doctors and firefighters and policemen and blah, blah, blah. I never wanted to really be that. I always saw myself as a musician instead. So yeah. So I think it's the answer is sort of like always. I think I never thought that I would be anything else. Well, I studied to become a sound engineer later because my music career was more of like a hobby back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to go on the other side of the microphone, so to say, and work with bands, but you know, like as an engineer to mix to make albums in the studio with bands instead of doing my own music as a professional. But that changed later on. I worked for a PA company for a couple of years. I worked in a studio for many years, and all of a sudden my music career took off, and I started concentrating more on that instead.
Mm-hmm. So you are a musician full of time, or you combine this profession with another kind of job?
Actually, okay. Yeah. Well, right now I used to be a full-time musician, but because of the coronavirus, I needed to do something else because, yeah, when you're FINNTROLL, for example, I can live on it full time, but you know, it's only when you can play gigs because albums doesn't sell in the way they used to do. So all the money I get from playing in a band, I get from live gigs. And now when everything is canceled, I needed to do something. So so I actually right now I'm not doing any sound engineering right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually started, well, a little more than a year back, I started focusing more on to give music lessons. And so I do all these kinds of workshops right now. I work with a lot with kids that are starting, you know, their music careers on music teacher, and also doing stuff like that, workshops, as I said.
Mm-hmm. Since I read an interview from Mikael Åkerfeldt, I always wanted to know if it's that in the Nordic lands you study music since you were kids and you received a government aid from 25 years old. Is that true, or only pass in Sweden?
That's probably like more in Sweden. I have not heard about that here in Finland. But yeah, we study a lot of music here, and also, well, it's sort of part of the compulsory school. Mm-hmm. You know, when you go to school, you're still in like high school. I think there's you need, but you can choose to have more, and you can choose to have less of you know of this kind of music lessons. But we do it a lot here, and I've studied music my whole life, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. And talk about the Finnish scene music. How did you live the Finnish scene music in your beginnings? How it still goes right now? It's a very difficult moment, but
how do you mean? sorry.
Yeah, sorry. When you in your beginnings, the Finnish scene music, how did you remember then? These times.
Well, of course, right now everything is sort of canceled. Well, people are still, you know, they are making new albums, and that's a good thing, you know. but yeah, it used to be really good here. You know, it was lots and lots of bands all the time. There were lots of concerts. Even in smaller cities, you could see big bands. And here, where I live, for example, we had a really good club here that we can actually see really big bands. I remember, like a couple of years back, there were bands like Wasp. Devin Townsend was here a couple of times, and yeah, it's a really good scene here. And well, right now it's more of people are locked in their rehearsal rooms and making new music instead of touring, of course, because of you know, because of the pandemic. But right, here we go. Oh, that's even a little bit better. So yeah, I've really liked it, and yeah, well, it was my job for almost 15 years. So but yeah, let's see what happens. Hopefully, you know, we can go back a little bit towards the normal stuff in maybe already this year. Let's hope so.
Talk now a little bit of FINNTROLL. As we know, you joined the band in 2006. Is it okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think to sing in Swedish, being Finnish as all of you are? When you arrive, they say we sing in Swedish. It goes natural for you?
Yeah, actually, you know, in Finland we have two official languages. People always think that we only have Finnish here, but also we have two official languages. So in school you have to learn both Finnish and Swedish.
Okay.
So it's not that strange actually, because I belong to a minority here in Finland that speaks Swedish. So I was born Swedish. Swedish speaking. I speak with my family, with my parents. I speak Swedish every day. So for me, it's quite normal.
It's so natural. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually was from that part of Finland where it's kind of where there's more Swedish speaking people. So for me, I actually had to learn Finnish instead. So yeah. So when I joined FINNTROLL, I knew that I was gonna speak that I was gonna sing in Swedish, which was good, and but I couldn't speak Finnish, so yeah, I had to learn Finnish actually. So yeah.
Okay. FINNTROLL last year published your last album, Vrede. Had you decided, regardless of all of the events that occurred this year?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I mean, when you decided to publish the album, you decided whatever passed in the past year. It's a very difficult moment to edit maybe albums, but you did. We have it and we do it. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. That was. Okay. We had already, you know, been doing it. We've been working on it for so many years, and you know, we had the opportunity. If we wanted, we could have waited 1 year, but we decided that we don't want to do that, because the fans, they already knew that we were going into the studio. They knew that we had a album sort of ready, and I think it would have been like almost like an insult if you would have, you know, put it 1 more year into the future or something just because of this. So you know, and even if, you know, if we would have said last year that, yeah, instead of September 2021, no, 2020, we're gonna move it to September 2021, I don't think, you know, it would have made any matter that much, because I'm still afraid that we won't be able to tour this year either. So that means that we should have put it 2 years into the future, and that would have been just stupid to do. Then it would have been, you know, like 10 years since we released the last album, and so it's better this way, you know. And hopefully when this situation goes away, we can go and actually really tour on that album like full time. So yeah.
What do you think about the album almost a year after this edition? How it goes, the reception with the fans? They appreciate that FINNTROLL still conserve their essence until 7 years of silence?
Yeah, I was really curious about the feedback, and sort of, how to say, almost like afraid what people are gonna say, you know, because we have been working on this album for so long, that, you know, everyone in the band was like, if people don't like this, then it's gonna be terrible, and you know, everything is gonna, you know, all this hard work is gonna, you know, be for nothing, and you know, all these kind of thoughts go through your mind when you haven't done, because when you have a 7-year break from, not a break as a band, but as a break of making new music, you know, the people's expectations are really, really high, and I'm really, really happy that we actually met those expectations. I haven't heard anything bad about this album. I had really, really good reviews. We had lots of these like album of the year kind of awards we got last year and everything, and so I'm really, really, really happy that people liked it so much that they did. And yeah, and as I said, I can't wait to actually go out there and play this to people as well.
I listened the album in detail, and I like so much the songs Mask and Midden, but my favorite is Ormfolk. Could you tell me something about this song in particular, lyrics basically?
Well, about Ormfolk.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Ormfolk was one of those how to say, like that has the sound of the new album. You know, we always, you know, when we make a new album, we want to find something new or something, you know, so like a red thread for the album, you know, the sort of the musical theme of the album. This album, we didn't really have anything in the beginning. We didn't really know. That's why it took so long, because Tundra and Trollhorn, they were going in really different directions with the music that they wrote, and none of the music would have, you know, sort of fit on the same album, because yeah, some of the music sounded that it could have been just like on the Blue Swept album. Some even sounded a little bit older, and there was no really like consistency in the album. So when we wrote the track Att döda med en sten, the first track on the album, we sort of decided, this is how this album should sound. So it should be a little bit like old school FINNTROLL, but also to have a little bit of that Blue Swept stuff in there, and also decided on to take a little bit like even more folky part than we had for the last 2 albums maybe. But so yeah, so when we did that Att döda med en sten track, you know, we went back and rewrote stuff that we had, like Force, and that was one of the first songs we did. We rewrote it so it would fit, you know, into the album. But then after this, you know, we had a couple of spots on the album still, you know, that we needed a kind of like here we need a fast song, here we need a slower song, this kind of empty spaces. And Ormfolk is one of those, actually, that the faster songs that we sort of did. And that was the Ormfolk song was the first that Tundra and Trollhorn really worked together on this album, like we used, you know, on all the albums so far. It's been, you know, they've been working together, but now since they didn't have they didn't know which style to go in, they didn't really work together. They just wrote their own stuff, and then, but later than coming together, that was the really first song that they wrote together on this album, and I think it's really a cool track, you know, to show off the album. And that's why we put it as the first track, you know, the first single, you know, the first single when we released anything, because this was such a FINNTROLL sounding song, and I think it also has that kind of old school, almost like Jaktensteed album kind of vibe to it. And yeah, so it was really important to us to release that as first track.
You talked about before about the tour dates, but I don't understand if you decided to begin in this September, because I saw in the Facebook that you have so much dates for this September of this year. You do it?
No, not we. I don't think we have actually anything in September right now.
So
but we, yeah.
You reschedule for the next year?
No, it's actually for November and December for this year. We are going to go on a European tour. So it's a little bit over a month. I think it's 35 shows in Central Europe mostly. and we are working on more, but since, you know, the situation is what it is, we cannot really release anything what we are planning right now. So because yeah, we don't want to, you know, release something and then have to take it back later, because we have that tour, I think we have moved it already 4 times. So but still it's on, everything looks like it's gonna happen right now, with, you know, with the vaccine sort of working here, and the numbers, at least here in Finland, the coronavirus is going down really like much right now. I think it's like maybe like 75% better now. So I'm hopeful, but so but yeah, all the other plans we have lots of plans for all parts of the world right now, you know, Asia, South America, North America as well, but you know, everything is so uncertain that we don't want to release anything.
So if you come to Europe and Spain, you probably come in the next year.
No, we have actually 2 shows in Spain booked right now. I think there's Madrid and Barcelona on there.
The same places.
Yeah.
Why you always, when you come to Spain, always go to the same places, to the same towns? It's your decision, or it's the decision of the promoters? You always forgot Valencia. What happened with Valencia? We are not nice. we are
no,
very nice
it's yeah, you should tell your promoters to book us. Yeah, it's not up to us actually. So yeah, it's about our agent and working with the promoters. But some years ago we did, I think it was 2015 maybe, we did lots of shows in Spain. There was like all over. No, there was a long tour. No, there was like a long tour. We did club gigs all over.
I mean in festivals. I saw you for the first time in Leyendas of Rock.
Yeah, we were there as well. Yeah, that was a cool one. I was there. I had to come one day earlier, I remember, because I was living so far away from the other guys, so I need to take another route with the airplane. So I was there for the whole festival. Actually, that was a really cool festival. But yeah, a couple of years back we played a lot in Spain. I think there was of 13 gigs, I think 7 of them were in Spain. So that's quite a lot. But yeah, let's hope, you know, next time that we can come to a little bit more places as well.
Other people knows you like the singer of FINNTROLL, but you stay in you play in two more bands. One of them was An Oceans. I know this band so many years ago, and the other one is DISPYT.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, my opinion, An Oceans are more, their sound are more deeper, and DISPYT are more crusty and raw.
Yeah.
And I like so much. I like so much. The thing are they are in common. Maybe it's the black metal bases. Maybe it's okay.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. Well, we are. Well, in both of those bands, well, FINNTROLL as well, and well, I as a musician, I am really inspired by, you know, black metal. I have always been a big fan of the genre, but for some reason, I feel, you know, like I want to experiment around it, to have this like really like basic black metal sound. You know, when I was younger, I was interested in that kind, but now I like to play around with different sounds and see what we can do that's actually interesting and sort of new. And I like that with An Oceans, we have this kind of experimental side to it as well, with all the keyboards, but still keeping it sort of true to the original stuff. DISPYT, that was just sort of, how to say, like happy coincidence, because me the drummer and the guitar player, we listen to lots of punk and Crust and stuff like that, and you know, when 3 guys that like black metal come together and make punk music, some influences will happen, you know. And I really like, you know, the combination that we have over there as well.
Both of them are from Finland too.
Yeah. Yeah. And
no,
yeah, and sort of both of them I sing in Swedish as well. So it's kind of strange. DISPYT is totally Swedish. We only sing in Swedish, and Oceans have, you know, the old albums. They had like lots and lots of Swedish. It sort of went away for a while, and it was more English. But now when I write lyrics, I also write both in English and in Swedish for the band. So it's kind of funny that I used to only sing in English before, but now all my bands sing in Swedish for some reason.
And do you publish any material with both of them or one of them?
Yeah,
new releases,
both.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're both coming, and there was actually last year released a new album with And Oceans, first one in 18 years. DISPYT also released a new album, second full-length album for DISPYT just before Christmas last year. So yeah, that's I released three albums last year, so that's a really good year, you know, album wise, you know, bad with the playing, of course, but yeah. So I have 3 bands waiting now to be able to play. So
the 3 bands in the same tour? No.
No. I've played some years ago. I played one show where I played 2 gigs the same day, and no, never again.
In the description of DISPYT, practice black metal and crust. Would you explain me what's the name about crust? I think something, but I want to know about it from you. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's sort of like a spin-off from the punk scene. And well, it's still in the punk scene, of course, but you know, lots of people when they hear the word punk, they think about, you know, like Green Day, Bad Religion, stuff like that, you know, the basic stuff. So
bubblegum punk.
Sorry, it was breaking up.
No. When you say Green Day here in my town, we describe them like bubblegum punk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And
for me, it's not punk.
Yeah, exactly.
Punk for me, it's more than this.
And that's, you know, when people started making crust punk, it's because they wanted something more, I would say, a little bit more aggressive, something not that melodic, something, you know, more of like bursts of energy. And that's where crust comes in. That's what we want to do with this beat. We wanted to have that kind of energy and that kind of rawness and dirtiness that the crust music have. So yeah.
I like so much, I tell you again. So Mathias, do you want to say anything more?
Well, yeah, of course, you know, in these situations where we have right now, I really want everyone to sort of hold on and wait a little bit more and be safe out there and don't be stupid, because the more people are taking care of the situation right now, the faster we can go out there and we can have some kind of normal situation. And I can promise you all that, you know, when we get the normal situation, I will be out there with DISPYT, with And Oceans, and of course with FINNTROLL as well. And yeah, as soon as the borders open, we are gonna be there. That's for sure.
So if the tour dates go as you want, maybe if I can, probably I go to Barcelona to see you in live again.
Yes, definitely.
So Mathias, thank you very much to join me for this interview for my web VALENCIA'N'METAL Around the World.
Yes.
Hope you have a great journey and see you on a stage.
Yes, let's do so. Thank you so very much. Stay safe, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.